to this review of the One Way UK Daily Devotionals for the 17th through to the 21st of June. We were looking at the story of the two servants, or the three servants rather, who were given bags of silver, 5 bags of silver, 2 bags of silver and 1 bag of silver, so we're continuing with that. And also we end up the week talking about sheep and goats. So let's plunge straight in. There's a cause for celebration on Monday because the guys with the 5 bags of silver and the 2 bags of silver had done very well, and they had increased, they had doubled the amount of money that they'd been given by their boss. And his response to this was, "You've been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." And to me, that the key thing that came out of this story was that you and I as believers can punch way above our weight, because you remember the original bags of silver were actually given to those men by their employer. They were given, they weren't their own, so they were investing, if you like, money way beyond their own personal resources. And in the same way, whatever we do for God, it's the Holy Spirit provides us with the abilities, empowers us to do whatever we're asked to do. We're punching way above our weight. We are using resources that don't come from us, but come from Him, and therefore can make a bigger impact than we can just by ourselves, because all the resources of heaven are at our disposal. And if that isn't a cause for celebration, then I really don't know what is. On Tuesday, we looked at the sad guy who just buried his sack of silver, didn't do anything to increase the amount of money that he'd been given, and consequently actually was treated very severely indeed. Well, it's not the treatment that he got that I'm interested in so much as the words of encouragement that were included in the passage from Matthew 25, verses 24 to 30. And it was this: "To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance." And that is true in our spiritual walk of faith, that as we do whatever we have to do, whatever God puts into our hands to do, that as we do that well, we show that we're able to work hand in hand with the Holy Spirit, then more and more will be given to us to enable us to continue in our walk of faith successfully. On Wednesday, why goats? You remember he divided people up into sheep and goats when he comes again. Well, I heard an aid worker on the radio talking about goats, and he said that if you put goats into fertile conditions, then they will degrade those fertile conditions. They will have a harm on the environment. And if you put them in a very, how can I describe it, a fragile environment, like in sub-Saharan Africa, then what happens there is they can push that environment over the edge, and it can become infertile desert. So goats are not useful in that sense, and they can be harmful to those around them. And this is how God would see people who are not born again. People who are not working with Him are working against Him, and therefore they are causing harm to those around. Hence, the goats get a bad deal. But let's move on to the sheep. And the sheep, of course, are commended because he said, "When I was feeling hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me a drink," and so on and so forth. And they said, "Well, when did we do this? We didn't see you, Lord." And he sort of replied, and he said, least of these, my brothers and sisters, you are doing it to me. Now, as the heart of God, you see, the heart of God for us is to see that people's situations are improved by the way we share with them and care for them. And that's something that he wants us to do, is to cultivate a lifestyle of hospitality, generosity, and care and concern. And finally, on Friday, he told the goats, I tell you the truth, when you refuse to help the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you are refusing to help me. And the upshot of this is that Jesus says that those who refuse to help will go into eternal punishment. And there is no other way you can express the original Greek. I've checked up in various reference books, and eternal punishment seems to be what he's talking about. And it is a sober warning to us all that getting right with God isn't just old-fashioned jargon, but it's vitally necessary for everybody in the world today. For you, for me, and our contemporaries. But let's sign off the week with that lovely phrase that God used. To those that Jesus used, to those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. And that's just so wonderful to remember that through the Holy Spirit, all the resources of heaven are available to us. Have a great weekend. Next week, this video will be going up a little later, perhaps on the Saturday or the Sunday. But until then, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and give you his peace.
You know, I've been to many different places, and I've seen so many lonely faces.